What's up, fight fans? This is Kurtoville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez gives his prediction of Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev, and this is what he had to say. Quote, he says, I think if Bivol has the condition and good game plan to go in there and in and out and do all the things, I think he wins. But if not, if he goes a little bit in the corner or on the ropes, it's going to be hard for him because Beterbiev is a very hard fighter. And let me counterpunch. You guys see, even Canelo, a guy of that type of fighting style, can respect Beterbiev's fighting style. See, game recognized game when you see a fighter do something that you or do something like you intended to do. See, Canelo Alvarez, his game plan was to break Bivol down. It didn't matter how fast he was or how quick or how active. No, Canelo just wanted to throw those hard shots. He was throwing them like the Dickens because he wanted to impose power, and that power was supposed to break down Bivol over time, which it did not, because I don't think he had enough power. Bivol explained it. He said, well, he hits hard, but he doesn't hit hard enough to do what I think he needs to do. You know, what he thought he was going to do with me, he couldn't do because he didn't have the ability. He didn't have the power to. Okay, the power he was lacking in that regard because he was coming from 168 and challenging at 175. And when you go up that weight class, it's only a certain amount of power that you're going to have to you're going to have in order to control a fighter. See, the lack of power can mean everything in a fight. See, if Canelo had enough power, those punches that he did get in, these uppercuts that he did, he threw them hard and he hit Bivol. But Bivol was able to take them and then counter and get off the ropes and counter with massive shots by himself. Okay, he was coming off those ropes, dot, 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 dot. You know, and it's a hell of a thing when you throw a punch that exerts energy like that, like Canelo threw, and he was expecting that punch to be that deal breaker, okay, to be that particular punch that solved all of his problems, that actually hurt, that broke through with Bivol. And he thought that that was going to be the point. It never happened, okay, but with Beterbiev, it can, and I believe it will. You know, and he even knows, well, look, if he stays off the ropes, stays in the middle, go in and out, he should be fine. But if he does get in the corner, if he does get on the ropes, like he said, it's going to be hard because Beterbiev hits harder than a mother sucker. Okay? That's what he means. And then it gets me to thinking, like, okay, you know, did he handpick Bivol? Because a lot of people were saying, hey, you duck Benavidez back then. But then you go to 175. And I was one of those guys that was defending Canelo because I'm like, well, wait a minute. But Bivol's he's a dragon up there. You know what I mean? He's like Bruce Lee in boxing gloves. He's never been defeated. He's been kicking ass since way back when. You know, and then Canelo wants to take on that guy. And then Triple G, I know that was the weakest link. But, you know, understand this, though. Once he got his ass whooped by Bivol, it was like, So you went back down to 168. And it was like, okay, I ain't going back down there. You know what I mean? Then he wanted to fight him again. But Bivol wanted like, no, why don't we fight at 168? I can make 168. You know, but it gets me to think like, okay, well, what about Beterbiev? What would Beterbiev do with someone like Canelo? Now that would be a powerhouse fight. And the question is, does Canelo have enough power to hurt Beterbiev? Because if he don't, he's destroyed. Beterbiev would destroy him because it's nothing to keep him off of him. You have to be able to hurt him. And we've seen him in with some heavy hitters, you know. And I look at Beterbiev, he's just taking out guys. His hands are a lot heavier, and the way he can punch at a short distance is very dangerous, you know. And he showed a lot of people why the pressure and the power and the consistency is so important in his fighting style. That's why he's never been defeated, and that's why he's whooped and knocked out everybody he's ever been in the ring with, because the way he does not let up, dude. He does not let up. And that's exactly what he intends to do to Bivol, I think. But you guys tell me what you think of Canelo Alvarez and his prediction of Dmitry Bivol. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!